Yeah, you see, I got it all hooked up now. It just came straight in. The video came right in, no problems. I can drink water. Everything is going good right now for the moment. Let me not jinx everything. So we have an interesting lecture today. It made me think about some things today. Namo bang sư thích ca mâu ni Phật. Namo bang sư thích ca mâu ni Phật. Namo bang sư thích ca mâu ni Phật. Buddhang saranang kacami, dhammam saranang kacami, sanghang saranang kacami, tutiyampi, tatiyampi. Buddhang saranang kacami, dhammam saranang kacami, sanghang saranang kacami, sammatnamodaniya, sadhu, 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 amitabha, amitabha, amitabha. I give blessings to the noble, the honorable, the timeless teachings of the self-enlightened, self-taught, self-enlightened Buddha. Firstly, secondly, and thirdly, I pay homage to the virtue of the Lord Buddha, and his teachings are the way that I use to cleanse my own mind, heal myself from my own misfortune, suffering, or misthoughts and misjudgments. I also try to embody the understandings of the Dharma, which is the best way that I could say it in English, meaning the truth as it is, unadulterated, that governs all that is in creation. The undeniable truth that governs all that is created. No extras and no subtractions, just the truth of what it is. And I also pay homage and bow my head in obedience as well as reverence to the disciples, the rightly guided disciples of the Lord Buddha from his time until today, that show us the way forward to get rid of suffering, to get rid of mental clutter, to get rid of false desires, wants, feelings, and the untruths of a world that is full of illusions. I follow the footsteps in the way of the Bodhisattva, which are the saints that have foregone their own happiness, their own acceptance into enlightenment until all beings have gone before them. And I use them as a tool to venerate myself about compassion and how to be selfless, and also how to be kind and compassionate to others in a world where people just aren't that nice these days. They're just not, man. I mean, I'm coming from 3 different centuries: rotary phones to cell phones to video games and whatever. Now we're dealing with phones. You could just talk to somebody on video. Now we're talking about AI. So I'm coming through 3 different, black and white TVs. I remember when TVs were black and white. There wasn't no color, wasn't no flat screen. You know what I'm saying? You had to use 2 different dials to get the signal to come in properly, putting tinfoil on the TV antenna. So I went through some different generations, you know what I'm saying? So I can tell that the deterioration of society kind of increases the more that technology advances. But I don't think it's because of technology. I really don't. I don't think it's because of technology it makes it like that. I think it's because of greed. Good old greed. I'm just having some coffee, and I'm kind of waiting for somebody to come online. If they come, it's okay. If they don't come, no big deal. We're still going to do our thing. I'm pretty grateful from everybody who's here, who's listening. Make sure you share the channel, man. We get this message out to those who uh to those who are not here and who you think would be appropriate to listen to this message. Um, Put my stuff here so I can see properly. Oh, it's like, oh. All right, here we go. I'm take my little sip of coffee. I really hope that you guys are having a good day. Ooh, that's good. I hope you guys are having a good day. Nothing's stopping you from your success. I hope that you aren't being an obstacle to your success. I also hope that your ideas, your friendships are not being an obstacle to your success. I really hope that too. I was thinking about something today about blind ignorance. You know, people who follow blind ignorance, people who are blinded by their ignorance, hateful people, just for the sake of hate. Just for the sake of hate, man. You didn't even do nothing to them. You don't even know them. But all that comes out of their mouth is nothing but hatred. Nothing comes out of their mouth of goodness. Only thing that comes out of their mouth is hatred. I hate your people. I hate your skin color. I hate everything about you. I'm like, man, you don't even know me. Do you know that we probably have more in common than we do uncommon? But the problem with you is that you have a complex thinking that your hatred is doing something for you, and it isn't. It's making you blind. Your hatred is making you stupid. It is hurting you before it hurts me. By the way you talk, I can tell you were stupid before I came about. And I don't even know who you are. You were stupid way before I came into the game. Your answers, your responses telling you so. And the fact that I know you're stupid is because the answers and replies that you say to some of the words I said make me realize that you recognize intelligence as opposed to ignorance. Hatred is something that can make you incapable of seeing who a person really is. Do you understand? It'll stop you from seeing who a person really is really about, what information they have to offer. But usually people who are so filled with rage and hate, they don't do self-reflection. They don't do self-reflection. Self-reflection is for a person who is vulnerable enough to be held accountable for their mistakes and have to change them. But if you're alone with yourself for a long enough period of time without reflection, you don't have accountability anymore. You start to believe the whispers in the mind that are telling you to be disgusting. These whispers in the mind that are telling you that you are better than another person, that you deserve more than another person. Funny thing is because the funny thing is a person who hasn't mastered what is going on in his mind and who is doing the whispering, who is talking to him, who is talking to her, who is talking and speaking on their behalf in the voice in their mind, they haven't realized, and they probably never will, is that hatred in the heart never travels alone. Hatred in the heart never travels alone. It travels with other companions of hate. Hatred travels with spite. Hatred travels with blame. Hatred travels with ego. Hatred travels with arrogance. Hatred travels with ill intent. Hatred travels with skepticism or doubt about others. Hatred travels with deception, with manipulation, with disrespect, with dishonor. How do you speak truth to a person when they think that the truths that you are using are a tactic of manipulation? Tell me how you are going to get the truth in the heart of a person who thinks that every time you open your mouth, it is a form of manipulation. A person who's very hateful, actively hateful against you, another person, yourself, thinks that anytime that you are trying to generate generosity or kindness, it is a tactic or a technique of manipulation or underhanded activity. Every time you're silenced, he thinks that it is, because you're arrogant. You're quiet because you're arrogant. Oh, you're distant is because you're disrespectful. Every time you give an explanation, no. It's not an explanation, it's an excuse. That's an excuse. So every time a person who is full of rage and hate, eventually a person he hated becomes someone he can no longer see clearly because he has ill intentions for that person, that place, that thing, or even for our own selves. Don't you know that because of your dirty habits, your dirty mind, your dirty thought patterns, your unbalanced thinking. You could have pushed away an ally, a good, resourceful ally. No, they don't care. They don't care about no ally. They don't care about no ally. They don't care about no companions. They just care about, they're so filled with rage and hate. That's it. They think it's nourishment. You understand? They think hate is nourishment for their soul. It makes them a better person. We all know that hate, hatred, and the likes is a fire or a flame. It is a fire that burns yourself before it burns someone else. It's burning you up first. Because of your ill sight, your lack of insight, you have no discernment because you listened to the companion of hate, which is blame. Because you believed what you saw with your eye, but not what you see. You believed what you saw, but not what you see. That you have pushed away all of your blessings because they didn't come in a box that you think that you are supposed to get. They didn't come in a shiny package that you wanted it to come in, that you think that you're so high and mighty. You push your blessings away because it didn't come in the way that you wanted it to, not the way that it naturally was. Hateful people destroy themselves first before they destroy anybody. It's always been like that in history. Pushing away their blessings, pushing away our blessings because you see it as a threat. Then what do when you push your blessings away? You push yourself into a corner. You sit there, you're living inside of a corner. You can barely move. What are you still doing? Oh, it's the blacks, it's the whites, it's the Asians, it's you, it's your short person, it's a tall person. It's the Muslims, it's the Christians, it's the Hindus, it's their fault, it's the immigrants, it's the politics, it's the birds, it's the bees, it's the air, it's the smoke. The funny thing is, these people who have these type of attitudes, they never, ever take their hate for whatever it is they have and go somewhere where it is not available. Because they know that this hateful, spiteful person they have become, it is once there's nothing to hate, the personality goes with it. They have nothing about their personality that's interesting. Do you understand? Once the threat is gone, then they're boring. They have nobody to blame. You just need to go to work and take care of your family. Now your life is boring. You need to go somewhere, take care of your family. There's nowhere to finger to blame. And if somebody did something to you, you can't be racist because they look just like you. You can't use race. Now what? What are you going to do now? Who are you going to blame? People are funny, bro. I'm going to tell you right now, people are so silly. In Buddhism, we have a name for this type of hate and ignorance. Moha, dosa, lobha in the Pali language. Hate, ill will, and anger. Hate, ill will, and anger. Lobha, dosa, and moha. Has a stronger meaning, but for the lack of better wordage here, hate, greed, or anger, or hate, ill will. Hatred is something that says, oh, I know who you are. I know what you're about. Wisdom says, let me look again. Let me test out my theory. Let me test this out. It doesn't mean that you need to stand so close that you get burnt a second time. It just, you need to realize that what you're seeing is pattern recognition. There is a thing called pattern recognition. But nobody is the same. We're all different. It doesn't matter. All of us are all different. Skin color or not, everybody's different. You have to see that. You have to see it. And if it's a repetition, it's a program. It's not that person, it is a program. They've been conditioned to be that way. What is the program that they are running that makes them behave, act, do, respond, react in a certain way? What is this program? This person who is filled with so much blinding ignorance and hatred is not necessarily they lack intelligence, if they lack cultivation. They don't want to see the thing clearly. They stop investigating. They gave up. They stopped listening. They stop asking questions. They stop trying to find out what is the source of these problems. They just gave up. They stop allowing new information to challenge their contradictions, their conclusions, their confusions. Once they start to say, oh, I know what this person is about. I know what these people are about. Let me guess. Let me guess who these people are. Let me guess who it is. Oh, it's the, what is the word they say? Oh, it's the usual suspects. That's the new race words we have nowadays. The usual suspects. Those are the low-key race words that we use today, right? When people start to talk like that, what it means is wisdom has already began to disappear. Wisdom has began, wisdom meaning jitwe, or you could say panya, spiritual wisdom, insight has already left out the window. When you start to thinking you know, then there's no more use of your wisdom since you know everything. And I'm going to tell you now, spiritual wisdom and the spiritual note, wisdom in this case is very timid. If you think that you know, Wisdom's going to be like, okay, since you know everything, let me get out your way and let me step out of your way so you can go what you think is more wise than the original wisdom. I'll be here waiting for you when you find out that path is going to fail you. There's only one wisdom. And then the opposite of that is the anti-wisdom, which is ignorance in disguise. Since you think that there is wisdom, let me step out of the way and go ahead and get ready to take your exam. You're going to find out that is not wisdom. That's false wisdom. But if you're stubborn, you're stupid, you're blind, you're deaf, you don't learn quickly. You do not learn quickly. You still blame somebody else. You still lack the ability to weigh the evidence. You push away your blessings, become more angry. How can anyone help you? You tell me how anyone can help you when it is you actively being your own enemy. How can we help you? Hatred brings bias. Hatred brings bias to you and the others that are around you. Hatred brings bias. That's what you want? Okay. Good luck with that. Once we dislike somebody, we hate somebody. Once we love somebody, we love somebody. It's easy for us to watch how our mind will play dirty tricks in our perception, in our speech, in our thought, in our actions. Pretty package, the beautiful pretty package. Oh, they're just having a difficult day. They're just not feeling well. Same action by someone else. That's exactly what kind of person they are. You see how they are? I told you that's what these people look like. I told you what these people are. But another package that you like, oh, they're just having a bad day. Same, they both did the same thing, but you make excuse for one, but you don't make excuse for other because you secretly want to see that person fail to fit your narrative, to fit your reason why you have to be dirty, nasty, and harsh, mean to another person. Instead of just saying, you know what? Maybe that person, I don't really like that person that much. Actually, I hate that person. But he's just having a hard day. He didn't do it on purpose. No, you have a bias. You're looking to blame them for any and every little thing that makes you feel higher than them. It makes you feel like you're superior to them. And you are digging yourself deeper in the hole of ignorance. Faster, stronger, and while you dig deep into the ground, you're also burying yourself at the same time. You don't realize you're also burying yourself at the same time. You're throwing dirt out and it's falling back on your own back. You can't be that dumb, bro. It's not about skin color no more. It's about people who are like you. We're all in the same boat. It's not about skin color. It's not about race. It's not about language. It's about get in where you fit in. You better find your tribe. You better find your tribe, because there's people out here right now who think that they're better than the whole planet. And they don't like anybody except for their own little small, tiny clique. And they don't have a problem with annihilating all of us at the same time. Sadly enough, and this is real talk, this is real. This is not a joke. It's not a fear tactic, this is real. How many times do they have to show you? It's all over the news, all over the TV, all over Hollywood, Hollyweird. Spite is another thing that rolls and hangs out with hatred and bias and envy. All right. Hatred loves hanging out with spite. So spite is one of those things where even if it hurts me, as long as I get you, if it hurts me, as long as it gets you, it's worth it. Really? You want to hurt yourself just to hurt somebody else? That's pretty diabolical, bro. I mean, dang, are you serious? Spite wants another person to suffer, you know? And this is where hatred begins to damage the person carrying it. The person who's on fire on the inside, this is where it starts to hurt them the most, because they're dealing with spite and they see it as collateral damage, they see it as a way to get at the person that they have directed their anger towards. If they suffer, you're happy. If they succeed, you feel dissatisfaction. You feel anger when they succeed. If they're being praised, you become disturbed. If they're happy, you're unhappy. If they get something new, you want to find a way to destroy it. If they start to elevate in your life, you're thinking about ways how to destroy their life. A person wants to go forward in their life, you find out a way to stop their life from going forward. A person starting to develop a good character, here you go gossiping, trying to destroy their character. How? Tell me how. Tell me how this is helping you out. Hatred burns you. Hatred blinds you. Hatred burns you first before the other person. That's something you gotta get rid of. Dead serious. Who is actually controlling your mind at that point? Because you're no longer in your solid mind. You are no longer in your solid mind. You were so blinded and intoxicated by this dirty chemical of hate, you're no longer able to make rational decisions. You can't make rational decisions because your decisions are built on retaliation. You can't even walk normal. Literally can't even walk down the streets anymore. Every time you want to go somewhere, every time you want to be with somebody, you have to think about it in a strategic way that your ops don't see you. You have to think about it in a way that if I go there, they might see me and they might say something to me, and then it's on. It's on and popping then. You hate peace that much? You don't like peace and tranquility that much? That's exciting for you? Really, that's exciting for you? Bro, come on, bro. That's not exciting, bro. That's retarded, bro. You have so much hate in your heart that you can't get the job done. You are too worried about vilifying a person who's doing a good job or trying to do the good job or who has been manipulated to be in a situation that you cannot focus on your role as a human being in humanity, that you need to sit there and think about what everyone else is doing while you're dropping the ball on yourself. The person that you hate, the person, place, or thing, race, or whatever, they live rent free in your head. The way that you think about them is if you should probably be paying them. And they live rent free in your head and they ain't even think about you. They're not even thinking about you and how much you hate them. And it's funny because regular people who are minding their business, regular people who are minding their own business, you go out and attack them and they didn't do nothing to you. The regular, normal person, woman, usually they go out and attack women and start saying all this wild, crazy, racist stuff. Like, man, the woman's like, man, I'm just going grocery shopping. I just bought some potatoes and some eggs. And all of a sudden, somebody come up and just punch me in the side of my face and kick me in the ground. I didn't even do it. I'm just going to the store, minding my business. So it also shows that you're a big coward. You are a coward. That you have to pick on women, children, disabled, elderly. You don't see people who are filled with hatred go attack somebody who looks like them. They always attack the weak because they're weak. They don't ever want to put their hatred to a challenge. They attack weak people. They attack people who are handicapped. You never find a hateful intellectual person. If he was intellectual, he wouldn't be hateful. And if he was hateful, if he's hateful, he's not an intellectual. He's knowledgeable of things, but he's not an intellectual because he's not using his intellect. He's knowledgeable about certain situations. True, but he's not intellectual. Hatred doesn't even like those words. Hatred wants certainty, right? So when evidence appears that contradicts our hatred, we reject the evidence, period. When someone tells us something we don't want to hear, oh, they're lying. When somebody does something in kindness, generosity, oh, they're just pretending. He's not really that way. They're pretending. They're lying. When somebody apologizes, no, they're only doing it because they want something from you. They want your sympathy so they can continue doing their hatred, so they can continue doing their manipulation. Do you understand? Every time somebody comes to them, that doesn't fit their box checklist, they have something negative to say. These people are really funny because they're blinded by the things they see. They're blinded by the things they see. And all they needed to do to cure themselves from this problem is to open their eye at the same time. Use your insight, not your outsight. Use your insight. Do you think everyone is the same? Do you think all people like this condition? There's thousands of people who fit the description that you are checkboxing, who also don't like what you don't like. It's not a race thing anymore. There's thousands of people who don't like the same thing like you, who come in multiple different shades and colors. At that point, when somebody's so buried in their own hate, man, nothing is allowed to disprove their hatred. Nothing. Nothing is allowed to disprove the hatred. Even if somebody came, looked exactly like the person that was spewing such toxic emotion, they wouldn't even believe it at that point. It becomes like it's like this self-preservation, self-protecting belief system. That if they don't use it, that they're going to, they're not going to be able to, live their lives anymore. They're not going to be able to have a personality. I told you that hatred also travels with arrogance. Selfishness, we see selfishness because selfishness triggers something within us. They're very selfish. They see dishonesty because we have unresolved experiences around dishonesty. So basically, all the partners, characters, and characteristics that travel with hate, the reason they are so sympathetic to them, or they're so alerted, or they're so triggered by all of these senses, is because they have it inside themselves first. It's inside themselves first. You ever see somebody who's a cheater get around people who are not? The cheater always points the finger at other people for doing the thing that the cheater wanted to do first. But the other people who are not cheaters, they weren't even thinking like that. But the cheater always tells on himself, hey, don't cheat. I see what you're doing with the cards over there. Hey, I can see your hand slipping back. Let me check your cards. It's because he's the cheater. He's telling on himself. And he's thinking that everyone out there is like him. He's been cheating so much that he thinks the whole world is like him, and he thinks nobody knows it. Before you even appear, we can smell it on you. Before you open your mouth, we can tell. And that makes the cheater, the hateful person, even more angry, is that people don't want to be around them. Because they see that you are a toxic pool of unclean water. You bring nothing to the table, but you have such a high ego. Your kaitua is so high. Your chitta is so high, you don't want to listen to anyone. You have nothing but projection onto other people about the fears that you wanted to do to them. Good job, buddy. You're awesome. You are awesome. I like that. Great. You did a good job there. Here's another thing that's kind of dangerous. People think that having hatred is the opposite of attachment. In order for you not to be attached, you have to hate things. In order for you to break free from attachment, you have to hate it. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No. You can also become deeply attached to your hatred. As you can see in the world, you can become attached to your story about somebody, attached to your grievance, attached to being a victim, attached to being right, attached to identity of, I am a person who knows what this person really is. You can, attached to the narrative of the story that you spun in your mind. Hatred does not mean that you are free from attachment. You might have been better being attached to something else. Now you have another problem. And now hatred becomes part of your identity. You want that to be a part of you when people speak about you, when you look in the mirror that you are the most hateful, despisable person. You're not merely losing an enemy. You're not just losing an enemy, you're losing yourself. You're losing your love for yourself. You're losing a part of you, making a doorway for what you are trying to escape from. You have a utopian idea of what love is supposed to be like, but you can't get there because you keep trying to get through the doors of love, bringing hatred. And this utopian idea of where you're supposed to be turns into another battlefield. You can't escape the battlefield if you keep bringing weapons of mass destruction there. Everywhere you go, you bring weapons of destruction. But you want to live in peace. How do you live in peace when you bring weapons, knives, hurtful speech, crime, by any means necessary attitude to a garden? Oh, it's better be prepared. Prepared for what? It's peace. You better get inside your mind and clean it out. Clean that mind out. It ain't thinking right. You ain't doing right. If they had a brain surgery, we could change your brain, man. I'll let me sign you up because you're not using the brain that you got properly. You're not seeing things clearly. You were so based on rage, hate, and blame, you're not seeing the bigger picture. You are easily manipulated when you are angry all the time at certain places, people, things, etc., etc. Easily manipulated. Your friends are laughing at you. Your parents are laughing at you. Society is laughing at you because all they got to do is poke a little button and you go all haywire, you go out of whack. Easy to be controlled. The Buddha didn't teach every person is good. Let me be clear of that. The Buddha didn't teach that everybody's inherently good and just happy. His own cousin, Devadatta, tried to kill him. The Buddha's cousin tried to kill him on multiple occasions, not just one occasion. My man, the Buddha was walking through a valley, going on alms round. Devadatta, his cousin, tried to push a boulder on the top of the Buddha. Bro, You gonna try to wily coyote me? You gonna try to Bugs Bunny act me? You gonna try to push a boulder on top of me? Are you serious? You don't like me? And the thing about Devadatta, you guys want to know what's so funny about Devadatta, the Buddha's cousin? He had the opportunity to just do his own thing and go do whatever he wanted. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to take what the Buddha had and turn it into something else because he had spite and jealousy. Do you see what I'm talking about? See how stupid it is? You, instead of just going where you fit in, getting where you fit in, your jealousy, your spite, your hatred, your insecurity, you want to take what's not yours and then try to recreate it into something instead of just go making your own path. That wasn't even the first time he tried to kill the Buddha. Do you know that this man had inspired with people to have a bunch of wild elephants trample over the top of the Buddha? Bro, the Buddha wasn't even a gangbanger. Buddha was not gangbanging on nobody. He wasn't out there calling people names, or he wasn't talking about smite thee or smote thee or with the knives and you're an unbeliever, a kafir, a goyim. He wasn't saying none of that. Devadatta still felt some type of way that he had to have him smashed by a bunch of elephants. Bro, it's not even that. Can you imagine that? You talk about love and peace, and your cousin says, you know what, man, today's the day. We gonna get about 5 semi-trucks and run over this fool. Bro, just go your own way. Just do something else. No, you're not even a prisoner. You just following me for no reason. Get up out of my face. You don't like being here. Go do something else. No, he don't want to do that. Prophet Muhammad and his family were destroyed by the same companions that said they follow Prophet Muhammad. You understand? Prophet Muhammad was killed by his companions. Gave him some poisoned meat, killed him, died. Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family was killed by the Prophet's companions. Killed by, sponsored by guess who? One of his wives. Sponsored by one of his wives. Led a whole revolution to kill the Prophet's direct family. His nephew, Imam Ali alayhi salam, Hassan Hussein, they mustered together his direct companions and slaughtered them. Jesus, who was he killed by? Who were the people that funded and despised Jesus before the Romans? Other Israelites. They hated Jesus. They hate Jesus till this day. They say he is swimming in excrements and his mother's burning in hell. And they have all types of nasty names for Jesus' mother. Hatred is a disgusting quality to have. It never helps. Hatred is there for you to realize how important love is. Hatred is there to realize so you will see how it cancers itself on all of your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, how it corrupts everything in the system. All prophets, messengers, saints, enlightened beings spoke about the dangers of being angry. All of them. They all spoke about the dangers of anger. And we're not, remember, man, when we're talking about hate, when we are talking about hate, brothers and sisters, we're not talking about one feeling. We're talking about hate and the companions that follow with it. And they change the seat of the orator, or it changes the seat of power each time. Hate, spite, jealousy, envy, anger, hate, spite, jealousy. Do you understand? They change the seat every time. So it's hard for you to realize what's happening, and it uses these tools to change its position for you to justify why you need to vilify another person. No good, man. The Buddha didn't teach us to be naive. Compassion is not stupidity. Forgiveness is not abandonment of discernment, okay? And loving kindness does not mean allowing someone to hurt you and to harm you. The practice is something much more difficult than that. To see clearly without allowing hatred to become the architect of what you see. This isn't just a kumbaya thing in Buddhism. Oh, just sit there, strumming on a guitar, love everybody, love everybody. No, stop doing that, please. Stop distorting the image of the Dharma. You don't sit there singing songs or running around playing kites like a child. Everybody, love everybody. Where do you get that from? Where did you get that from? That's a naive understanding of the Dharma, buddy. That's for sure. Just love everybody. That's not sophisticated enough. Your teaching is really about discernment without hatred, discerning what is proper, discerning what is the cause and root of suffering. Now, here's something that's interesting. I wanted to talk about hatred comparison to panya, the development of wisdom. Moha and comparison to the development of panya, okay? If you start hearing things like this, try to challenge it with the opposite. So you would say, oh, I know who you are. Do I actually know? Do I have enough compassion to understand what this guy's going through? What's really happening? They're always like this. Yeah, but is that really true? They're not always like that. They're not always like that. What you see right now is them behaving that way, but they're not always like that. And remember, recognition, these patterns, it's a condition. There's got to be something that's making them react that way. I can't really know unless I really go out there and do some deep research. I don't need to listen. What might I be missing? I don't need to listen to none of this. All that funky attitude. What are you missing? Start asking yourself, what am I missing? They're my enemy. I hate them. Man, what happened between us? We used to be cool. We used to be okay. Hatred always asks who is right. Wisdom asks all the time, what is true? What is true? So I can follow what is right and abandon what is evil. Last but not least, brothers and sisters, I do want us really to, before you start talking about you hate someone and you want them to get hit by a bus and fall down the stairs and whatever it is, investigate, man. Before you judge somebody, investigate what you believe you know. Before you reject someone, investigate what is moving inside your own heart. Because hatred can make you ignorant. Hatred can make you ignorant, but make you feel like you're smart and wise, but it makes you blind. It can make you bias. It can make bias feel like discernment. It can make spite feel like jealous or justice. And it can make the destruction of a blessing feel like self-protection. Do you understand? That's real. Therefore, the practice is not to become blind to wrongdoing. It isn't. The practice is to become so clear that even when you see wrongdoing, you don't have to become hateful in order to see it. The Buddha gave us the Eightfold Path. Please look it up. And this is how we keep things like negative thoughts, feelings, attachments, actions away from our sphere of practice. If I've said anything that goes against the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, the way of the Bodhisattva, the saints, please drop everything that I say, return back to the text, return back to the book of the sages. The meditation masters follow the words of the meditation masters, the practice of the meditation masters, and the scholars of the Dharma. My ideas, my opinion on views are solely from what I've experienced as a Buddhist monk for 10 years, living in Southeast Asia, and they change depending on what I come in contact with as far as the things that I come in contact with when I'm learning something new. And with that being said, I want you guys to have a beautiful evening. My coffee is cold. My coffee is cold, and I just hope that you guys have a beautiful evening, day, or night. And be careful of hate. Be careful of that dirty desire of hate. It does no good for anybody. Namo Bang Shu Te Kamoni Fat Amita for Amita for Amita for. Oh, Lord have mercy. Let's see here. I wonder if it's going to create a highlight somewhere. Pretty tired. I think I'm going to walk around a little bit. Give me some more energy. You guys have a blessed night.